Howdy SEO Moz fans, welcome to an extremely exciting edition of Whiteboard Friday. It's SMX here in Seattle, and that means I've got Duane Forrester of Bing Webmaster Tools here with me.
Hey guys.
And Duane, it is possible that you have taken some flack in the past for Bing's Webmaster Tools being of middling quality. But today, you got to be feeling great.
It's a whole new world.
It's amazing. And in fact, we're going to do something we've never done before on Whiteboard Friday, which is Duane and I are actually going to use Kenny's beautiful, not a Mac, it's a PC laptop. We're gonna, we're gonna use this machine, and since Kenny's recording this, we're gonna be able to show you. So the video is gonna go back and forth between Duane and I, talking through a bunch of the stuff that's in the tools. We're gonna be using SEO Moz's account, well, my account, which has SEO Moz and my personal site. We're gonna be exploring some links with their new Link Explorer, replacing Yahoo Site Explorer.
Definitely.
We're gonna be looking at some of the SEO reports, click-through data. This thing's sexy.
Yeah, we're going to find some stuff that might be wrong with your sites.
Oh, well,
maybe.
let's do it.
Surprised the heck out of me this morning with my sites.
So here we are. We're on the My Sites page. This is the first page I get to when I log in.
Absolutely, but there's a requirement for this. So in order to see the My Sites page, you have to have more than one site registered and verified. Gotcha. If you only have one, you go immediately to the dashboard. No sense adding the extra click in there, right?
Much appreciated.
Yeah,
very smart.
Yeah.
And then, so I'm going to go just dive into SEO Moz to start us off.
Absolutely, absolutely.
And here
one thing I will point out here too, guys, is as you guys are seeing this recording, there will be thumbnails that are showing up. So as the system continues to populate today, because we literally turned it on this morning at 8 a.m., as it all starts to populate in there, you'll see thumbnails for your website starting to show up in there too. So visually, you'll know what's going on. You'll know immediately, oh yeah, I'm still on that site, this is what I'm working with, and it makes for a really nice experience too. Like you feel like a nice warm cup of tea with honey. It just feels good.
And I'm getting some cool data here already, right? Because I can see the amount of clicks I got from Bing search.
Exactly.
How many times I appeared in search. My pages crawled, my crawl errors, my pages indexed.
And all customizable through the calendar dropdown, so you can set your own date ranges, about 6 months worth of data in there for you, so lots of chance to look back. So all of those folks who haven't run their reports this week, you don't need to panic about it. Didn't run them this month, don't need to panic about it. You can go back and fetch the data. It's all in there for you. And of course, we have the trend lines in here as well. And what these spark lines are telling you is what the trend looks like for that data set. So in this case, we're looking at clicks from search. It's a very thick line that comes across up and down. So we see that variance over, I think it's 3 months here, right?
It looks like weeks and weekends.
Right, exactly. So that's what you're seeing, is you're seeing the weeks and weekends at play, right? A nice one is the pages indexed here. You're seeing a nice steady increase with a spike at one point that I think you had mentioned. You get some really mainstream exposure.
That and that wouldn't surprise me if this is actually when we got funding.
Exactly,
right?
Exactly. So we would have picked up on those signals and come in and just, grabbed everything from the site.
That's super slick. So let's dive into some of these reports.
Absolutely. Yeah, this is some cool stuff. Oh, you want to hit refresh on that.
Yeah. Oh, okay. All right. So this is my page traffic.
Yep.
And I love this. So we were looking at this earlier, and I could see kind of the pages that are getting traffic to the site. And these are among the top 3 pages that are traffic to the site. Anyway, tools, beginner's guide, homepage, search ranking factors. So clicks from search. How many times I appeared, my click-through rate, whether that's going up and down.
Your average position and the average position where you appeared in search. So obviously we're trying you, right? So there's 2 different things here. One is where we're trying you, and the other is where you got the click. So those could be different numbers. But again, if you drill into this, if you click on the view area there, you're actually going to see those keywords, and if you drill down on the plus symbol, you will actually see the actual ranking position you were in and the click rate data applicable against the keyword for that URL at that location over the period of time you're looking at. So you want to talk about rich data to help you understand.
Depth of detail.
Yeah, exactly.
Really phenomenal.
Exactly. Can you tell that there were SEOs who actually worked on these tools? Because,
that is damn cool. So tell me a little about Index Explorer.
So you can think of Index Explorer like a filing cabinet, okay? It's our way of understanding and your way of understanding how we have you inside our index. So like a filing cabinet, we have folders aligned in there, and all your content is in those folders. So if you want to drill down, you open a folder, you see what's inside the folder. You open the next one, you see the page inside it. You click on the page, you see what we know about that page. So you can continue to get very deep in here, right? What's really handy about this is, as you continue to drop down into more and more information, we actually have breadcrumb navigation that populates across the page. So you don't have to go all the way back to the beginning to start again. You can just say, oh, I only want to go back to that second level folder and then review all of that information again. Right?
Very, very cool. And I can filter based on all these.
Yeah, there's a bunch of filters,
pages
so you
excluded by
can look
robots.
at, exactly. So maybe you only want to see the 404 errors that are showing up. So we'll actually show you that. And on those pages, in the little snippet that you'll see there, we'll actually show you the number of links that are pointed at those URLs that we're aware of. So this is a great tool,
where
and
do
you
I
can
see
find
that?
this elsewhere. So continue to drill down.
Inbound link count. I see it.
Yeah, so there's inbound link count, there's
153,000.
153,000, right?
Right,
So
right. And then if I
you
go to
filter in and then continue to filter in, so you want to click on one of these elements.
Sure, let's go to category 4. I know that's our link building category.
Lovely. I thought you guys were losing your mind because, you know, it was all numbers, but,
We're
you know. So over on the right-hand side now, you see all this, and we're saying, okay, it's a 200 OK code page. This is your document size, so it's pretty good for this
Discovered
size.
6 months
I
ago.
can tell you right now that as we get into this, we're going to show you an SEO analysis tool, and the rule in there triggers at about 125 KB. So pretty big page. So obviously this is fine, and the inbound link count is 30. Now if you filtered for 404 pages and you had inbound link count on here, suddenly you know what to go reclaim.
Right.
Right?
Perfect.
And then you can go back into inbound links, you can filter again in there, and then say, okay, these are the actual URLs, links are pointed at these, I need to reclaim this stuff.
Phenomenal.
So, yeah, very handy.
Very, very cool.
Very handy.
So let's dive into some of our keywords that are sending us traffic, because you guys are reporting this in. Where's not provided, Duane? I don't
We
see
don't
not.
provide not provided. Not provided is not provided. I'm sorry, you'll need to look elsewhere for that.
Are you telling me you're providing all my keywords?
They're your keywords. See that? That's love right there.
That's love.
Right? You know?
All right, so.
So a couple of things to note on this page. They're kind of really standout items, right? First off, the data we're showing you here is organic. So always keep that in mind. Then if you hover over one of the currency symbols, what we're going to do is show you the cost of that keyword in Ad Center.
Cool.
So you're doing your look at this and you're saying, okay, I know that's a high value page on my website. I know I'm getting traffic from it. Maybe there's some stuff I could do to optimize
I even
it.
have a free $50 coupon.
If you want it, right? We're happy to fund you guys too.
Oh,
there you go,
excellent.
$50.
That's
You know? It's waiting for you. Claim
help
what you
cover my
like.
soda.
Exactly. And then you can look at the data and say, all right, you know what? It's worth me bidding on these phrases. I like the phrase. I think it gives good traffic. It's a high value area for me. I should go bid on these phrases.
And then this will send me over to Ad Center.
Exactly, exactly. Now what we're hoping for at this stage is, at some point in the future, we want to do a federated login. There's a lot of big blocks to move on that, but it just makes sense that we work toward it. So when you click on it, it takes you into your account.
Instantly,
right?
yeah.
Much better experience for the user, obviously better for everyone. So that's,
Can't
we'd
imagine
like
your
to move
conversion
there.
rates will suffer if you do that.
No, exactly, exactly. So again, if you click on view on this, what's going to happen is against that keyword, you're going to see which URLs are actually ranking. And then when you click to expand, it's going to tell you the position, the clicks you got, the click-through rate, everything. So what's pretty cool about this is up until only a few years ago, none of the engines would talk to you about what click-through rates were on positions, right? And even now, it's not something that's paraded around a whole lot. Kind of doesn't matter because applicable to your website at any time, that data is raw.
Right,
It's
so I was
there.
ranking in position 3, I got
Exactly.
1.75%. Look at this. I was
Exactly.
ranking in position 5,
and
I
you
got
got a better click rate.
1.95.
Exactly.
Amazing.
Exactly. So that's the type of insight into the psychology of searcher that the data gives you. And it also helps you understand some, some kind of long-standing stuff in the SEO community. Do you really want to rank on the bottom of page 1, or is the top of page 2 better? And if you
Is having a standout snippet and my the rich data and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
Can I ask you one question with regards to this result position and click-through rate?
Yep.
When we talk about, so let's take a quick look at. I think I'm signed into Bing, and let me sign into Facebook as well.
Oh, please
so
do.
So that I can.
Absolutely.
Let's connect my Facebook account here. So Rand Fishkin.
Okay, close your eyes. You don't want to see the password.
Yeah. You can check it out. I'm sure it'll be hilarious. Let's hope that logs me in. All right. Cool. So now I'm logged into Bing, logged into Facebook, and now if I start searching for stuff like, well, let's go to Learn SEO. So I'm going to be seeing some annotated stuff here. These thumbs up from 30 of my friends who like SEO Moz.
Absolutely.
A bunch of my friends like SEO Book.
Yep.
So,
not really friends though, are they?
They are. Aaron, he's great. I've heard those Bing Webmaster Tools folks, though. That might be some competition. I'll have to talk to them. Don't let him out of the building. So tell me, when I see these kinds of things, am I gonna be able to eventually get that data back here inside Webmaster Tools where you show me like, here's how many people
annotations, the clicks, all of that kind of stuff. So maybe?
Maybe. Okay.
So we'd love to have feedback from folks. So if folks want that social integration, so there's a couple of layers to this, right? Obviously, we can share what we have. Things that we don't possess, much more difficult for us to access and then potentially share on. But if it's showing up in our result, we can look at that and say, you know what, that's our data. We understand what's going on with it. But if people want that, they think that's valuable, knowing the annotations, knowing the number of times it's appeared, knowing clicks that have happened on the annotation, you know, all of these types of things, the number of times maybe they have trended from Twitter information that we've shown that's popped in there. If that's the type of stuff that you guys need to see in, you know, the future generation of the tool, we want to hear that feedback. I need that feedback because my job is to take that feedback and translate it through our team into the next generation of tools. So I personally, as an SEO, my vote, I want it. Yeah. Right? Like, so I'm one checkbox, but I'm one checkbox. So help me out, please.
I bet if we search for Bing Webmaster Tools, will we see some trending stuff?
We might be a little early. We might be a little early.
Because it just launched like
a couple
hours ago.
Well, what's odd is the Webmaster community tends to be about 3 weeks behind everything. So we do these new things, we put them all out there, and then like 3 weeks later, suddenly we see everything ramp right up. So
gotcha.
So yeah, or maybe it is. Maybe it's coming up under Phoenix, under Bing Phoenix.
Let's see if people whining about Penguin are. Well, there's tons of news.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah. The thing is,
so
though,
I'm curious about this
we
too.
may actually be past the curve on trending for it, though, right? Because trending is like very now.
When we're looking at these kinds of results, is that number one? Is Google, Penguin, Wikipedia, is that number one or is that number
That's
two,
number one.
3? Okay.
Number one would be the Wikipedia entries. So when the results stack up on the page, right, we have our organic stack, okay?
And that's what the number is?
Exactly,
okay.
exactly. So things that are annotated or added into the results on the page, things like our advertising block at the top, an answer that may fire specific to something, again, would be at the top. Or in this case, Bing News, or the video overlays, or inlays.
Related searches.
Exactly.
Okay.
Those aren't counted as your traditional search result on the SERP. Okay, those are additive. So when we're talking the positions in those search reports, we're literally talking first organic, second organic through 10.
Okay.
So
cool.
So yeah, that's what we're. So it's true. It's a true rank position, right? That's what it is.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah.
Why don't we spend some time? Oops. Let's go into SEO reports.
You want to go into that? Okay. I usually save that, right? Because that's like the money.
Well, inbound links is pretty money too. I mean,
yeah, you got a good point there. Yeah. Okay. I'm on board with this.
So this is like a bunch of features of you saying, hey, I think these might be things you want to fix on your site, and then you've got severity counts.
Exactly.
Like
exactly. So
image tag and having an alt attribute, not a big problem, but title missing, kind
big
of a problem.
So the way the SEO reports run, and there's two specific tools that work here. One is SEO Reports, the other is SEO Analyzer. SEO Reports runs every other week automatically on every domain that you have verified in your site. So the reports are always there.
Right now.
That's what we're looking at right now. They're always there. They're always in the background. They're always available. Okay. Awesome. Generally, they are accurate, or they are current to generally within about 3 days. So it takes us about a week or so to scan all the sites, and then we put it in. But depending on when you come in, you might hit it the day it updates. You might hit it the day after. That kind of thing. Bottom line is they're still pretty current and they're still pretty accurate. So there's no possibility of you coming in and saying, oh yeah, no, I did that work, and that was 6 months ago, right? And I'll share an embarrassing example for you. So this morning when we rolled everything live, the first thing I did was went into one of my own websites, and I said, oh, look, I'm missing a title on that page. How's that possible? I'm an SEO. Come now,
yeah,
dear.
We never make mistakes, right?
Right, totally. Unbeknownst to me 7 years ago when I hand-coded the HTML, I put the title tag outside the head tag. So, of course, it's not applicable. And the tool is telling me this, and I'm looking at it, pinging my engineer going, dude, what's up? The rule's not working properly. And then I get this email back, ... Not sure how to say this. Your code is wonky. And when I went back and looked at it, sure enough, on me.
Yeah.
So fantastic
speaking
stuff.
Of, I mean, let's go dive in, right? So this, supposedly I have a bunch of multiple titles. We looked at our titles missing, and that was like CSVs and PowerPoint
exactly.
files.
Oh, and on that point, you'll notice different file types. So you'll notice some things like XML, CSVs, PPTX, those kinds of things. We're actually going to add some logic that will filter those out because we know that you're not going to have a title on a PowerPoint page. It's just not realistic.
Doesn't matter,
right? So we'll be filtering those things out, right? The tools are beta, but we are serious about investing in these things. So we'll keep at that.
So this is a post from Joanna from a few months ago, retargeting basic, well, maybe last year. So I'm going to click on this. Well,
yeah, so this is the other important part. When you go into the report's going to give you the details and tell you the aggregate counts against that issue. But when you click on the URL, it bumps you over to the SEO Analyzer that runs on demand in real time.
Wow.
So now it's gone onto this page and said, hey, here's my page, here are the problems. It's color-coded to let you understand, you know, what is an actual red flag issue, what is a little less important, and then what you can wait on.
Right.
On top of that, we will actually overlay on the screen where the item is. So you click on the little button, and then it expands to tell you that, and if you hit the expand option inside that area, it will actually tell you what the code looks like that has the problem and what the meaning of the problem is. So really deep information. Now, hit the page source for me, Rand. And what you're going to see is as you scroll down through the page source, you're going to see that the issue is actually highlighted for you. So you know exactly where it is, right?
So there's title number one.
Yeah.
There's my meta description.
Right, this is pulling up everything, right?
Yep.
So what you want to do is you actually want to click on multiple, where was the multiple title
Page
one?
contains multiple titles.
Yeah, that's it. And then, so we know what that is. So now start scrolling down, and what you're going to see is we got a title on here, and as we scroll down, there's our extra title tags. Pop in the middle. So
how'd that happen?
So yeah, so SEO Moms didn't even know that was there.
Incredible.
Right?
Incredible.
Yeah, we got your back.
All right.
Yeah.
Very, very, very cool.
Yeah.
So tell me about these features like Fetch's Bing Bot and the Markup Validator.
So I'll start with Markup Validator. That's a repeat performer. So Markup Validator, it's a new look and feel, but the same functionality as we've previously had. If you've marked up, used one of the semantic languages to mark up your actual page, and you put the URL in, we will show you the page code with that markup installed in it, if it's installed correctly. If it's not installed correctly, we'll show you an error message.
Are you guys using video as a markup?
I'm actually, so we're not, it's not against what we're using, it's against what you've installed and the syntax for the language.
So what's a good thing for us to check?
So I always go to IMDb and pull off a movie because I know they've got them all marked up, right? So it doesn't really matter.
How about the Batman
fan of Batman,
movie?
that works. I'm okay, I'm not judging.
Oh, look, the Michael Keaton one from '89.
I'm not judging. I'm observing. I may come up with
Isn't
a
he
judgment
Canadian?
later.
You should love that guy.
I do like Michael Keaton. I don't know if he's Canadian. That'd be interesting.
I wonder if maybe they'll tell us when they validate this markup.
No, there's no OG code that tells you that he's Canadian or not, right? So obviously,
wouldn't surprise me if that was a feature you put in there. Little.
Trust me, the head of our PM team is English. He will not let me slip it in. So we're going to show you, as you can see
Schema.org,
Schema.org, OG, whatever language you've got in there, we're going to show you. Obviously, they have it installed correctly because we're rendering this.
Yep.
Okay. Now, if it wasn't installed correctly, you missed a character, your syntax is off, you used the wrong language, whatever, we're actually going to show you an error message telling you, hey, you probably want to go check your syntax and just make sure that it's all okay. So that's the markup validator. It's making a return appearance, right? We want people to use it. The first step, though, is they've got to start adopting schema.org, right?
Yeah.
Or a rich meta language. They've really got to start doing that. That is going to be a big part of the future, guys. So wrap your head around it. Don't be afraid of entities. Get in there and help us understand it all. Very
cool.
important.
So at some point, you and I will probably have to do some Whiteboard Fridaying
Absolutely.
on entities in particular
Absolutely.
and what you think are good ones. And
Definitely.
But
so fetch is Bing Bot.
Fetch is Bing Bot.
So real time, type something in, whatever you want us to go fetch. All right. Bing Bot is like your favorite pet. Okay. You're going to tell it, go fetch the paper at this URL. It's actually going to go and it's going to bring back the page code in real time and show you what it is. Now, it generally takes a.
I'm not authorized to work with that site.
Of course you're not. Come on now.
It's Geraldine's site. I don't know why.
Pick a site that you own. Come on. Jeez. I could slap him, but that would be abusive. So that's, you know.
Did I type that
Yeah,
wrong?
there you go. That should work. There's only one. Okay.
All right, I need to refresh.
Okay. There we go.
That's my
All right, so I'll walk you through what this is going to do. It's going to go out in real time. Fetch the page, bring it back, and then show the code that we're seeing. Super helpful for if somebody is maybe, I don't know, cracked your site and is injecting something into it. So last week we had this tool internally, and one of the guys was saying, "Okay, here's what's going to happen. I'm going to go test this on one of our internal sites." We knew the site had been hacked and people were injecting content on it. Sure enough, code view comes up. We go look at it, and there's the hack of all of the Viagra and Propecia and all this stuff that was right at the top of the content stack. It didn't show visually, but there it was in the code, and that's what Bing Bot is seeing. So really useful tool to understand it. Now, while we've been talking, Rand has actually told it to go. And it only takes a few seconds, right? Bingbot gets on his coat, takes his hat, walks out the door, goes finds your spot, takes a look at it, comes back, has a cup of tea, and then prepares the report. So if you click on completed now, what's going to happen is lower on the page is going to expand to show you this actual data.
Oops. Oh, download not attempted due to politeness.
Oh, there we go.
Oh,
okay. No, we're okay.
All right, cool.
We're okay. So this is the code base for that page. And we're actually just going to show you that. We do kind of rely on you understanding if something is inaccurate or improper, right? I was not shocked when I ran one of my own blogs that's running a very old version of WordPress on it to find some stuff injected. Yep. Go figure. That matches perfectly with my update warnings that I have, so that's on me.
Yeah.
There you go.
And some spammer.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'd like to thank him for his role in all this. And then, so what else do we have in here?
So, well, keyword research, I want to save Link Explorer for the end, since that's so cool. But I love that this is in here now.
Yes.
How awesome is that?
Keyword research, a couple of really critical things. First, when we launched it, it was one page at a time, one query at a time. We actually got feedback on that, and people said, you know, you should open it up to more, so we did. So now you can do multiple queries. You can just stack them in there one per line, hit go, and we'll go run everything concurrently, or sorry, in parallel. So side by side, there you go, and then we'll give you your results on that. But what's really important about this data is this comes from organic search at Bing. This is not powered from the paid ecosystem at all. This data comes from organic search at Bing. It does not pull from Ad Center. There is no other keyword research tool from any engine that actually gives you organic data like this. So really useful stuff. Again, we've got trend graphs on the side that are going to tell you what's going up, down.
API?
API, yeah. So if you go look at the API documentation, keyword research tool is not in there. But it actually, no, it actually is. We just haven't updated the docs yet.
Oh my God, are you kidding?
Nope, not kidding.
I would hug you again, but it would get awkward on the video.
It's a little bit strange, yes. PR. So keyword tool, the research information is available through the API.
And then these trend lines.
Yeah, so the trend line is basically saying, we gave me a range. The range is default here for us. And this is what it started at, and this is what it's at now. So it's giving you an idea that the trend over that period of time, in this, for example, we're looking at Batman. The trend for the period of time we're looking at is that fewer searches are happening. Less people are looking for it. And, you know, and if you think about it, just from like your own awareness of pop culture, there really hasn't been a lot about Batman
until
in the news.
New movies
Right, exactly,
right?
And just before that, you'll start to see the upswing. And then you'll see all the long-tail phrases that are related to it do their normal little dance too, as the related demographics start to clue in on those things, right?
Yep.
And then if you, there's a couple of nice little features built into this. If you click on anything, it's just going to retask the research tool to go and dive deep on that particular phrase. So then it'll just rerun everything and bring up that data related to it, okay?
So now I can see all the searches related to the new Batman 3 movie.
Exactly.
Dark Knight
and it
Rises.
pivots around that, right?
Obviously, and you've got some semantic understanding
yes,
here.
Yeah.
Wow.
So we do understand, right? That's the beauty of
Dark
pulling
Knight
from
Rises
organic.
Is Batman 3.
Exactly.
Hence. Okay.
Exactly. And obviously, if you click on appeared in search, these will sort for you automatically, give you highest to lowest, lowest to highest.
So I'm really curious. These numbers don't look. You and I are both used to using Ad Center and using AdWords.
Exactly.
And you get rounding.
Yes.
Why are these so specific?
There's absolutely no value in rounding. There's
well,
nothing.
Obviously
we
not.
don't save anything. So as far as we're concerned, 426 is as good as 450 or 400. It doesn't make a difference, except to you guys. So when we looked at it on our end...
So you're just giving us the detailed data.
Yeah, absolutely. Because when we looked at it on our end, there was nothing holding us back from sharing the detail. And we obviously know that the detail's better, so we go right to the detail number.
Dude, you rock.
Right?
That is
to be
some
fair,
strong mojo.
it's a team effort. We have an awesome team.
Oh, I meant y'all, Bing rocks.
Absolutely. Sorry, yeah, that's clearly not for me. Thanks, Rand.
Yeah, I wouldn't compliment a Canadian.
Rightly so. Rightly so. So a couple of things that I do want to point out in this too, right? One other feature that we added to it that was requested was the ability to search multiple countries under a single language. So for example, let's say you want to understand, you've got a phenomenon like Batman, and it spans regions. So Batman is popular everywhere, and you want to get an understanding of US, Canada, and the UK, you can actually scope it to that level and say, I want English in these regions, give me the feedback on that, and it brings back all that data for you.
So I just changed to Canada, and now I'm going to get new data that will show me specifically how many people in Canada
yeah.
did these
So there'll be
searches.
like 3, right? Because, you know, that's it, right?
Canadians like comedies.
Oh, totally.
Not drama.
Right, well, it's what keeps us warm in the winter, the laughter.
No, that's not bad.
Right,
194.
No, I'm embarrassed for my country.
Yeah.
More of us should like Batman 3. Come now.
Yeah.
Right? But what's really cool, though, is if you click on the history drop down here, what we're going to do is actually show you all of the last keywords
nice.
you did.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
instead of, because we thought rather than make you go back and do something again, we thought we'd create a way you could just come right around the loop. And that's what the history function does, is just let you click on it. Really nice feature. There's a couple of nice UX features we built in here, too. So that hover that Rand just activated there, a lot of help is provided in situations. So where you're at, you can hover over the eye and it will tell you what the feature is about or how to use the feature. Really handy to understand some of these tools. But what's
now,
really
strict
nice
is kind of like exact.
Exactly.
Match.
That's
Okay.
Strictly.
Yeah.
Should not use exactly. It is
It is
that.
a strict match. So if I check this yes, things like Dark Knight 3 or Dark Knight Rises are going to go away. Okay.
Only a phrase with Batman 3 in it would then be returned.
Right.
So it's that straightforward.
So come on, I mean.
So for a number of months now, I've been asking this question, and if people have seen it on SEO chat, I did one of them, and we
you
said
did it last time you were here on Whiteboard Friday.
Exactly. If you guys want data like Yahoo Site Explorer, you needed to talk to me about it, and boy, did you. I heard the message. My entire team heard the message.
So you're telling me I'm going to type in any URL on the web, and you're going to give me link data.
Yeah, and you actually bring up a really important point too. So traditionally, the tools are scoped to a particular domain. So earlier you typed in everywhereist and you were told no, because it's not in Rand's account, so he can't access it. Link Explorer is an exception to this. Link Explorer allows you to go and develop competitive intelligence by typing in what you want and seeing the links that are pointed at it. And there is a ton of stuff you can do. You can filter within a site. So who's pointing to my site from a particular site? You can filter by a keyword that appears on an individual page on another website. You can filter by anchor text. You can filter internal or external. You can group them all together. You can scope at a URL or a domain level to understand all up how many links are pointed at my website, or I have a particular page that is very valuable to me, how many links are pointed at that page, and then start drilling down on what are those links. And obviously on the competitive side, you can then go take a look at another website and say, who's pointing at them and are they pointing at me? So between Link Explorer and your own inbound link data that we share, you can create an incredibly comprehensive link graph for yourself, page by page, and understand what that looks like, not just for you, but for your competitors.
Can I ask you a couple questions about this? So this is awesome. Like just
It is pretty cool.
every question I'm going to ask you is just icing on a cake that I'm so glad you baked for us, and we really appreciate it.
Happy to.
But I'm curious, are these links in some kind of order?
So there is an order to them, but you guys best to think of it as a randomized order, okay? Now, you can click on source URL and sort these things alphabetically. So that makes it a little easier to find some stuff, right? But really the intent is if you start using this...
link that is most important.
No. Okay. No. We would ideally love to evolve to that stage where we can actually say, here's the link that we value most out of this list. Right. So not on the horizon immediately, right? But what you can do is if you use that filter by site function, right? So you can really start narrowing down that gap of what matters to you. Maybe you guys did an interview and you're wondering if it popped on CNN, right? If you've got anything from it. So you could actually go in and type that in and see, did that actually net anything for me? It might only be a single link, but damn, that is a powerful link, right? That is a trustworthy link. So
hey, let's go check it out. Oh, we don't have any CNN links.
Oh, painful.
Hey.
Sorry.
Let's see if the NY Times has ever linked to us. Nope.
Well,
it might be from one of their articles, right?
Right, exactly. So that's just where you need to be careful of using these features, because you have to understand, like, we need to understand what you're looking for explicitly. So it gets a lot more difficult. Like Rand typed in, oh, okay, New York Times, right? It starts to get a little more difficult to understand. Well, that's pretty broad.
But now I can see, this additional query gives me the functionality back that old Yahoo link domain plus keyword queries used to have, which is saying, I want you, Bing, to find me all the links that point to me that have the word, not some other link, not domain, just the word NY Times on the page. And so here's a Search Engine Land article about the New York Times paywall. They mention NY Times, they link to us.
Exactly.
So it's in here.
Exactly. So the data in here is incredibly rich, you know, and if you spend time managing links, looking at your link graph, what this actual footprint looks like, you know, between the inbound link section of the tools and this new area in Link Explorer, man, you've got some great coverage.
Wow.
It is fantastic.
This is a lot of data. Now,
Yeah.
two other questions. So we talked about this before. I was noticing that it looks like not all of your index is necessarily in here.
Not quite yet. So there are some limitations. Bing is not a giant black box, as folks like to think of things. It's a series of processes that work together. And in order to pull data from some of those things, they have different limitations at times. So what we want to make sure we do is bring forward a good experience, something that people can rely on. And then my team, one of our tasks is to sit back and figure out what's being used, how's it being used, what's the capacity look like, then where do we invest more capacity? And that way we can continue to expand things, right?
So are we sort of looking at, if we imagine kind of a large historical indices that contain sort of all of the web, and then sort of the new, fresh stuff that we need all the time, we're pulling more from this than we are from those.
Exactly, exactly. Now, you'll go through and find links in here that are old links, and that makes perfect sense. But we need to make sure, so and here's an example of some of those limitations. Our API that we have, okay? Keyword research tool is in. It wasn't when we launched. The SEO reports, the SEO analyzer, and Link Explorer are not in the API currently. So what we don't want to have happen is people have a poor experience coming in, using that tool, hitting limitations. It's problematic for them. We want to avoid that, right? I've worked with APIs in the past where you've had a dependency on it. Information's been taken out of the API, and therefore it just becomes kind of pointless to continue to engage with it.
Sure.
In my case, it led to a tool that we were using being shut down because we had no data. So that was the end of that. We want to avoid those things, right? So we're bringing the tools out. They are beta, so that allows us to kind of play around, add some logic, change some things, and fix things on the fly for them. But I got to tell you, I've been using these things now for a few weeks, and in the case of SEO Explorer, or SEO Analyzer, and the SEO Reports, back in my MSN days for years, and it is life-changing. I mean, if you're doing at-scale SEO stuff,
solid.
This is
really
like
solid.
This is kind of what people should be expecting from Webmaster Tools now, and this is it.
I appreciate that.
So yeah.
Well, fantastic work, you guys. There's a bunch more to explore in here.
yeah.
We're not going to spend another 30 minutes diving into all of it, but I really encourage all of you to. I'm sure you'll see blog posts over the next few weeks from people all over the SEO world, and particularly on Moz, detailing these features, how to use them.
Yeah.
Duane, please, from all of us in the industry, send your team our thanks. This is
Absolutely
phenomenal work in every aspect. Data, UI, UX.
Yeah.
Brilliantly done.
This is the product of months of passionate work by people who are actually SEOs, and I am so proud of our team for doing this. I mean, this is fantastic, So now I got to go fix my own websites.
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right, everyone. We will see you again next week for another edition of Whiteboard Friday. Take care.
Thanks, guys.